Welcome to Matchmaker. I'm Aliza Ben Shalom, your host and your guide to finding a love that lasts. You might know me from Jewish matchmaking on Netflix. However, I am so passionate about this topic that you don't just get a TV show, you get a book and a podcast as well. Here's the thing, not everyone is a matchmaker, but everyone can make a match. Whether it's finding love for yourself or helping two souls to connect, we're all a part of something bigger. Each week, we'll dive deep into stories, advice, and some real matchmaking magic. Let's take this journey together, and who knows, you might just find the spark that you've been looking for. And we're back, and today I'm still in Philly, and I am here with Shirel, and we're going to talk all about date 'em till you hate 'em, one of my favorite subjects, and dig into dating and see if anybody knows a match for her, because I believe that anyone can make a match. You don't have to be a matchmaker. Hey, Shirel, how are you?
Hi, good. I'm happy to be here.
So happy to have you. And we realized, so somebody else, Danielle Selber, you guys
Yes.
are going to keep hearing her name a lot, hooked us up.
Mhm.
And I didn't realize it was you, but you were at one of my live matchmaking shows in Philly.
I was about a year and a half ago now.
You were on stage with me.
I was on stage at B'nai Abraham. Shout out to them too.
Woohoo!
So I was there and also joined that panel, and it was a really awesome experience. And when Danielle reached out, I was like, "Oh yeah, sure, let's do it.
Cool. We can do
This'll
a
be
dating
cool."
podcast.
Yeah, if we did a live show, I think.
I mean, you could do this. It's
podcasts,
nothing.
they're recorded.
Right.
They can edit everything out, right?
No, we're not. We're editing nothing. We are getting you real and live and raw.
No, for sure.
So, okay. So one of my favorite topics is date 'em till you hate 'em. So much so that it was the first episode in Jewish matchmaking on Netflix. And it
Okay.
is the first chapter in my new book, Matchmaker. Find Me a Love That Lasts. And date 'em till you hate 'em is my sweet way of saying, if there's nothing that's so wrong,
Mhm.
just give somebody a chance. And not just give them a chance, but give you a chance. Let your eyes and your heart and let everything kind of come around to somebody and make it a little bit more comfortable and maybe take a little bit longer to go through the dating process, even though you might want to dump them after a first date. But hang on, because maybe something's going to happen.
Okay.
How has your dating experience been? Because you learned that from me a while ago, and now
Yeah.
you've been dating. Have you implemented it? Have your friends tried it? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, first of all, really good advice in every aspect of your life to like keep trying things until they're, something is like, oh, maybe it's not the right thing to do. And you're like, you learn something from that
Right.
situation. And so I think in dating, I've found that giving yourself the opportunity to get to know someone, maybe learn something about yourself as well. Because I think part of the dating process, it's not just about like figuring out if you like the other person. It's also about figuring out like, okay, if this isn't my person, what does like the next person look like? Or what are values that are really important to me? Or what is something that like I actually really don't like about this person and I don't want to see that in my next partner. And so I think it's just like a process of like trying to figure out like what actually is the best fit for me. And so I think date 'em till you hate 'em is a really good way to do that. It's like you're learning about yourself, you're learning about the other person. And I think only like growth can come from that.
Do you have any stories or anything where you're like, I was going to dump him after a first date, but like, Aliza said date him till you hate him. So I bought in, and like, how far into dating did it take you?
I think, well, I mean, I'm still single, so it hasn't
It didn't get you to the chuppah.
hasn't clicked yet. I haven't made it to the chuppah yet. Bezrat Hashem, Od Hashana, who's to say?
Amen.
But I think that it's been a really good tool for me to like really have that openness, because I think
Yeah.
we constantly like people ask us like, what are you looking for?
Right.
Like, what's your checklist? Like, what
Right.
are your non-negotiables?
Right.
And then it's like really hard to like move past that when you meet someone.
Right.
Because sometimes like that person isn't necessarily like your physical type. They aren't necessarily like
Right.
the exact personality that you thought, but like somehow it just works and the
Right.
vibes are good and the energies align. And so I think like having that openness is really important. And so I have been able to implement that in my dating life here in Philadelphia, and I'm really, really grateful for those experiences.
Are you staying in Philly? Are you like Philly? Oh, wait, you're moving, aren't you?
I'm
I heard.
moving, yes.
You're moving. Where are you going? Tell us.
I'm moving to New York
Okay.
in about 3 weeks. So it will be like mid-December.
Okay.
I have a trip planned. I'm going backpacking through Morocco, which will be really exciting. Not backpacking, like
Ooh.
glamping
Yeah.
and like a lot of
With
speed
friends,
trains.
with a trip.
Yeah, with my friend
That's
who we
amazing.
backpacked in Southeast Asia together. So I think it will be a really cool experience. I've never been to Morocco before.
Me neither.
Very
It's
rich
on my bucket
culture.
list.
Yeah. Excuse me. Really, really, I've heard wonderful things. So I'm very excited about that. And then I start kind of my new adventure, which is taking on New York City. So
And what are you going to do besides taking on the world? Professionally, you have a job there? Is it all lined up?
So my job doesn't change. I work 100% remote, which was like
Okay.
part of like the trigger for all of this, which was I feel like you kind of fall into like a very comfortable, like, oh, these are just my coffee shops and these are the things that I do and these are the walks that I take. And having lived most of my 20s abroad and as a digital nomad,
Where?
I had a stint in Tel Aviv.
Okay.
I was in Geneva for a while in Switzerland.
Wow.
I had a chance to be on the West Coast for a bit, all over Europe.
So you,
Yeah,
okay, somebody who works for me,
yeah.
she packed up how many months ago? Like 6 months ago,
Hmm.
and she's like, I'm gonna be a digital nomad,
It's
and I was like,
amazing.
good, and I was like, great. Well, now you can come live in Israel and come
Yes,
visit me also. She's
yeah,
like, well, for some of the time, I was like, yeah, yeah, you can come and go,
yeah.
and she's been loving it.
It's really really amazing. I think it really pushes you out of your comfort zone. It like forces you to like get in uncomfortable situations, which I think allows you to thrive and grow as a person and has taught me a lot about myself.
And I assume you meet so many new people and
Yeah,
not just the experiences, the cultures
yeah.
and singles. Are there any like
I mean,
ooh ah?
dating as a digital nomad is, I think, really, really hard
Yeah.
because it always feels like there's almost like an expiration date on how long you want to be in one place.
So even if you meet,
Um,
like, if you met somebody amazing, would it
yeah.
convince you to stay or not so
Oh,
much?
yeah, yeah. I think also, I just haven't met the right person
Right.
to that would, you know, encourage me to stay in one of those cities for an extended period of time. But I loved that process of meeting new people, also like dating in new cities. Tel Aviv is a really interesting place to date.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard the
It
stories.
is a hip hop happening city. If you're like, I
Yeah,
don't know where to date, where else should I go? Try Tel
yeah,
Aviv. There's so many people that are there from all walks of life,
yeah,
all languages, cultures,
yeah,
backgrounds. It's fascinating.
yeah. It's a really unique place to date. It's also like, you know, it's a little bit of a revolving door. Like
Right.
people come in, people come out all the
It's
time,
true.
which makes it difficult. But I think
Right.
it's like similar to any like big city, like
Right.
similar to New York and Miami dating.
Right.
It just happens that a lot of the people there are Jewish and
Right.
are connected in some way to Israel, which is something that sometimes we're looking for here in the States. So
Has anything changed for you since October 7th? I think a lot of people kind of woke up after October 7th and either were motivated to date only Jewish, were motivated to date now for marriage, were motivated to build a family now as opposed to when it happens. Is there anything for you that came up post October 7th?
yeah, I mean, I think for me, and I can speak for like a lot of young people who have been exposed to like being in a big city where like a lot of protests are happening and
Yeah.
a lot of like anti-Semitism is very like out in the open where it was sometimes maybe something that was behind closed doors. I think it just like brings it more to your attention that maybe like it is something that we need to prioritize and also like being part of the Jewish community and being present in the Jewish community is really important. So for me, like with October 7th, like dating Jewish was always something that was really, really important to me and being intentional with how I date. But I think it opened my eyes to saying like, okay, like what I thought was right. And I think like I just feel it even more deeply now, which is, wanting to have a connection to the state of Israel and being proud of my Jewish identity in every aspect of my life. And I think that dating is one of those things for sure.
I want to give a shout out to our listeners. If anybody has a dating story from like, hey, we met at the protests or we met at,
Yeah.
the rally or whatever it is, I would love to hear them. So send us a message, please. And I want to just dig into dating and figure out how do we, like, how do you get it right with dating? Like, what do you
Mhm.
think as you're going through the dating space and dating stage? What do you think you're doing better now? And I don't know if we asked you, how old are you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to give you my
Yes.
like 30-second elevator pitch?
Yeah, give me your let's do that. And then I want to know like what you've learned from then until now with dating.
Okay, so now I feel like I'm on the spot. But so I'm Shirel. Hi everyone, nice to meet you.
Shalom,
Nice to meet
Shirel.
you. I'm originally from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I was born and raised in the Philly area, Philly suburbs, with two really, really amazing, warm parents. We're Israeli parents, very important. Israeli parents who moved here in the late 80s and really prioritized, family and community and like really strong Jewish values. And I'm really grateful for those experiences. I have an amazing younger brother who's 25. He's a really, really sweet guy, my younger brother. And we are really just really close knit as a family. I think that prioritizing like our family unit and being close to Israel and like the community has really like allowed me to thrive and like also like find my place everywhere in the world as a digital nomad. Like my first thought wherever I go is like, oh, is there a Chabad or
But
is
Chabad
there?
that's not even a good thought because it's just, of course, the
Yeah.
answer is yes.
Yeah.
Wherever you go in the world, you're like, oh, is there a Chabad here? Of course there's a Chabad.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah. So is there a Chabad? Is there like a young Jewish professionals community? Like, is there something for me to connect to my Jewish identity in some way, even if I'm like in the middle of nowhere? Like, I had a really awesome a Shabbat dinner in Pai in Thailand, which was like,
Ooh.
yeah, it's just I feel like that's something that's really cool about the Jewish community. You can kind of find them anywhere.
Wow.
And so I feel like really lucky to have had all these experiences and now coming back to this area after being away for so long. I've been in Philly for about a year and a half. And now I'm like looking for my next adventure in
New York.
in New York. Yeah.
New York City?
New York City in the Upper East Side.
Oh my gosh, the city that never sleeps.
Yeah.
I'm going there tonight, and I know you arrive in the city, and there's this vibe and energy, and it doesn't power down. Like maybe between the hours of like 2 or 3 a.m. to like 5 a.m. Like that's it. Just a teeny like a whisper of quiet, and then the city is buzzing again. There's always something to do, and I think for nightlife, for singlehood, it's fabulous.
Yeah.
And at the same time, highly distracting. Because then when you do find that person, then you have to pull yourselves out of that scene to build that relationship. So I'm kind of giving you a little advice.
Yes, I would love advice.
That you should connect, find the parties, the events, the Chabads, the young Jewish professionals. Stand Up New York, it's a comedy club there. I've been there a couple times. Go. They have singles nights. They have Jewish things happening, regular things, all sorts of comedy and fun. And just find people and either look for somebody who obviously is your person. That's what we're ideally looking for, or somebody who may know your person.
Yeah.
Meaning if you see a person and you're like, they look cool, they look like my kind of vibe, they look like my kind of person, talk to them, get to know them, because usually in Judaism, it's not just 6 degrees of separation. It's like with Jews, there's like 2 degrees of separation and sometimes only 1. And I assume when I go into any situation, either you're for me or you can help me get to whoever I need to get to, and vice versa. I'm here to help you. So look to see how people can help you, and then also look to give back. Like, who are they and what can you do for them? And like, hey, if that person's not right for you, who can you pass them on to?
Yeah.
Because really, everyone can make a match. You don't have to be a matchmaker. Everyone can make a match. And if we would only just set up all of our friends, the burden is not all on my shoulders to make matches, people. It's on your shoulders too, because it should be everybody's hobby.
Yeah.
And I think you're already in the dating scene, right? So like, who better to know the person that you're dating than you, and then go set them up with somebody else that you also know really well.
No, I think that's totally true. I think one of my greatest joys is like seeing my friends connect really well, and then I'm like, oh, could this be a thing? Like, are we open to this? And so I think that honestly makes me really, really happy. I love seeing my friends get along and potentially date. So
good. So now this is a message back to your friends.
Yes.
Help Shirel out.
Yeah, I think it goes both ways.
It has to.
Yeah.
It has to.
Think of me.
Well, also, I think that it's such a waste of time to just go on a date and just see, are you for me?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, we answered that question. Sometimes in 3 seconds, we're like, not for me. And we move on. But if you're there anyway and you're already getting to know somebody, then the best thing that we can do is take that information and pass it on. Same thing like a job. It's
Yeah.
networking, right? If the job's not for me, it's for somebody else. Who can I recommend? Who can I connect? And it's all about connections. So
Yeah, I really feel that way. And I mean, we were talking a little bit before about the Jewish Business Network,
yeah,
which is like, I feel like whether, like you're always meeting people, you're always
right.
connecting with people. And I think like that's a really good point, whether it's like you can apply the same like transferable skills from
Right.
networking to dating.
Same thing. And for
It's like
people
kind of
that
the same thing.
hate it, you need to count on the people that love it and can do it really
Yeah.
well. Because there's some people and they're like, Elisa, I never, ever,
Yeah.
ever want to network,
Yeah.
schmooze, connect. I'm so introverted. I'm quiet. It's too much for me. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
But we need to count on the people that are those networkers and connectors and make friends with other people so that we can interconnect each other.
Yeah. And I think there's, it's always like a good opportunity to put yourself in those situations. Like if you don't really like networking, sometimes it's like fun to try dating. It's like more one-on-one. And
Yeah.
if you don't like dating, but
Try
networking, where you can
networking.
try networking, it's like a bigger setting. Like maybe that will work for you. But there's like, I think a lot of experiences that can contribute positively to both.
Right. Okay, so do you have an elevator pitch in terms of networking? Because we're going to
Oh,
talk
no.
networking. In terms of what you're looking for, I always like to say,
Yeah.
like, wave our magic wand and, like, poof, who is
Yeah.
this person that if we saw him, we'd be like, that guy's for Shirel. I got to connect them.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really hard question to answer.
is.
I mean, I think I have to think about that like every day and be like, oh, like,
Right.
what is that? I think for me, it's like constantly evolving as I date and as I like grow and I figure out what are things that are important to me. I think on a baseline, I think most people would say that they really want someone who's kind and has a good sense of
loving
humor and
warm.
respectful and
Yeah.
has comes from a good past. So like we'll leave those out. Like I feel like
Right.
that's a strong baseline that like most people
Everybody,
wants a good
correct.
person.
What else?
I think for me a sense of positivity is really important. Like being able to approach life in like an excited and curious way. Somebody who has strong Jewish values and connected to their Jewish identity. Somebody who is practicing their Judaism. Somebody who can also just like match my energy. I think that like I have been very lucky to travel and to be curious in my like cultural and art experiences, and I want someone who is also curious about those things and trying new foods and having like cool like experiences like motorcycling like in Vietnam and like what I mean, like I want someone who's like
Just
open
like
to
motorcycle. I'm sorry. Sorry. 3 steps back here. Just like motorcycling in Vietnam.
someone who will push me to do those things.
But you did that.
I did it because I had a really awesome friend who encouraged me to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I want
somebody who's going to push you a little bit outside of your comfort zone to try to get you to experience the world.
Yeah, because I am curious, but sometimes you need a little bit of encouragement. Like and I told you I'm going to Morocco. I'm like very nervous. I don't want to do this hot air balloon thing, but maybe if I had the right person with me who would like encourage me
You're
to do
in
this hot air balloon.
Morocco. Yeah. What better way to see Morocco than from a hot air balloon?
Oh man, I don't
know.
know.
It's on my bucket list. I didn't get to a hot air balloon yet.
I'm like just talking about it makes me nervous. I don't like heights and airplanes all the time.
Do they give you like a parachute just in case? That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, no, I would be nervous for a hot air balloon also. Like I want a backup plan.
Yeah. Maybe.
My husband and I, when we were dating,
Yeah.
he's like, what are you doing on Tuesday? And I'm looking in my Palm Pilot. Okay,
Yeah.
This is how long ago it is. We're married, by the way, we're married 22 years.
Wow.
We just celebrated our 22nd
Amazing.
anniversary. It's a miracle. No, just kidding.
And many, many, many more years.
Amen. It's a beautiful thing. It's really incredible. So we went out a couple dates. He says, what are you doing on Tuesday? I'm like, let me see. I'm going through my Palm Pilot. I'm like, oh, I'm going skydiving. And he's like, you're what? I was like, well, tandem skydiving. Like, I'll have somebody with me. Like, I don't know what to do, but they'll figure it out and they'll go poof and like, it'll be fine. He's like, don't do that. You could land in a tree or land in a lake or break your leg.
Yeah.
Why would you want to do that? I was like, it's on my bucket list. I want to do it. I was like, do you want to come? He's like, no. I said, oh, okay. He's like, well, you want to go out on a date? I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And that's it. Never went skydiving.
Okay.
Nope.
He still won't go with you.
Oh gosh, no. And now I won't go.
No.
I mean, I have 5 kids.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not.
It's different, yeah.
Yeah, but now I'm thinking like hot air balloon. So kind of like skydiving-esque experience.
I hope not.
But But I'm thinking, okay, it goes up. But what happens if there's a situation like I want a parachute?
Oh my gosh, Shalona da. Like you're making me really nervous right
No,
now about it.
I'm sure they have a plan.
They have a plan.
And I'm sure they have insurance. You
Yeah.
should just make sure you have good insurance. Anyway, not to make you nervous, but I think that we all have these things that are on our bucket list or our to-do list or whatever it is. And some of them maybe we'll accomplish and our partner will push us to do it. But maybe some of them we should have a partner that doesn't push too hard.
No.
Because
Yes.
there's going to be things that you're not going to want to do. So like skydiving is a no. Maybe hot air balloon is a maybe.
Or indoor skydiving could be a thing.
Oh, like those
ones with the air.
Those things?
Yeah.
Indoor skydiving.
Indoor skydiving.
Okay, I'll put that on my bucket list.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway,
I just to be honest, I think it's gonna be a little hard with head covering and things. Definitely you can't wear a wig. And I don't know about the whole tickle thing. I think it would just like whoosh and fly off. No, they give you a helmet, right?
I feel like
there's gotta be a helmet. No, there's got to be a helmet. No, it's
something,
fine.
yeah.
I can do it.
Yeah.
Let's book it.
All right, we can go together.
We can go together.
I'll find a place for us.
We're making a date right here. You heard it right now.
Yeah. But yeah, so I feel like it's nice to have, someone who like wants to take the journey with you.
Right.
Whether that's like doing cool adventurous stuff or also like life. Like life is ups and downs. It's like figuring things out. It's working together and building something together and figuring out, what do you want to prioritize together?
Okay, so let's fast track this.
Yes.
Poof, you move to New York.
Yes.
You're in the city. Life is good. You meet somebody wonderful. You think he's wonderful.
Okay.
He thinks you're wonderful.
Amazing.
We're on the same page. You're dating. Dating's going well.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you want to date before you get engaged?
I think for me, probably around a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mazel tov, it's been a year. Okay. How long until you get married?
I don't know. I feel like my parents would want like 2 months. For me, I don't know, like maybe another 3 to 4, 6 months, maybe.
Okay.
I have to plan a wedding and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in a year and a half, you could go from dating to married, yeah?
Yeah.
Can you do that?
I think so.
She's ready. If you could just let us know who you are, the wedding is ready to be planned by the Israeli parents. No problem. In Baya. Do we have to do the wedding in America or in Israel?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like maybe a third country. Maybe my partner is from a different country and then we pick their country.
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Not only are you a digital nomad, you're a digital wedding nomad.
Oh, yeah. You want to get married in Italy or somewhere in South America? I'm open to it.
No problem.
Yeah.
Do you so you speak English, you speak Hebrew.
I speak Spanish.
You speak fluently?
Pretty well, yeah.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? I don't have very much Spanish, that's about all. Okay, Spanish. Anything else?
I failed French in college.
Okay.
So not French.
Not French.
Not French.
German, Italian, Russian.
No.
Portuguese.
No.
Portuguese.
I feel like there are some similarities though,
Very.
like in Italian and Spanish, French and Spanish.
Correct.
Like I could probably read a food menu well.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But I could read a food menu well in English too.
Okay. And you have any preferences culturally, like Israeli, Spanish? You have like
I think like it's not necessary. I mean, yeah, obviously like physically I tend to be more attracted to like darker men.
Dark skin, dark hair.
Yeah. But I think that at the end of the day, I've been open about it. And I think that like having that openness is important because it's, I think we have this association with like Sephardi people and being really warm and like being very family oriented. And I think
they are.
The
Spanish are.
Spanish
as well.
are, yeah. And
Right.
I think also there are some Ashkenazi who like maybe fall a little bit Sephardi and also are like very warm and family oriented and things like that. And so I think like having that openness is important. Okay. But in terms of physicality, I tend to lean like tall, dark, and handsome.
Tall, dark, and handsome. Not such a big order, just a regular one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we got a vibe of where you're going to be living, what you're going to be doing. You're going to stay a digital nomad.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be a digital nomad in New York for now.
Right, doesn't matter. And then do you have preferences about where you live or does it really not matter to you?
I think, so I've been toying with the idea, I think a lot of us have, like post-October 7th is like Jewish people belong in Israel and That's
Yes,
like
you
a very
do.
big, a
Yes, we
very big part of
do.
my identity. And so I think that someone who's open to that is important to me. Like, down the line, maybe in a couple years,
Hmm.
think about Israel for a little.
Come home.
Yeah.
I'm inviting everybody.
Yeah.
Come home. Join us in Israel. I know the television doesn't make it look so wonderful, but for those few times that we have
Yeah.
things that are going on, the rest of the country is still functioning wonderful,
Always.
and there's beautiful things that are happening there every day,
Every day.
and we're still gaining our strength and
Yeah.
pulling
Absolutely.
it all together.
Absolutely. So having someone who's open to that,
Okay.
it is important to me. I think the Northeast I really enjoy. So
United States,
yeah,
Northeast.
the Northeast of the U.S. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, but I'm open. I'm open. I'm being open.
Well, it sounds like you have a lot of flexibility.
Yes.
You have family, I'm assuming, in Israel and in the States.
Yeah.
You have a completely flexible job.
Yes.
And you can be anywhere and do anything.
Yeah. I'm very blessed. Very, very lucky.
You sound very blessed. Now we just have to have you blessed with your bashert.
Bezrat Hashem.
Please, God. Okay. I'm thinking if there's anything else that we need to know about you. Any nuances, any little somethings that we might have missed. Sometimes like not the normal things. I got the
Okay.
digital nomad. That's not normal. But
Yeah.
any other little nuances before we wrap up and encourage our listeners to set you up?
I'm trying to think.
Quirky hobbies, interesting.
I'm a really good cook.
What
I
kind
cook
of food?
really well. Like everything. I have like sometimes a hot take, which is like I think I cook better than restaurants. Like I love a experience of like going out and like dining and trying new places. Right. But
but your food is better.
But like sometimes I feel like my food is better. And I feel like I sound like my mom saying that because her food is amazing, like best cook ever. But I do feel like sometimes I don't know, I just feel like I cook better than the restaurant. So I love cooking and I love trying out kind of new recipes and
Spicy or not?
love spicy food.
Uh-huh.
Love spicy food.
I had a feeling.
Yeah. Well, my dad is Indian. My dad
Okay.
is an Indian Jew. And we have like a very rich culture
Wow.
of being Indian in our family. And so that translates into our food as well.
What types of food things are going to be different? More
Um,
curry and
I mean, I think like a lot of like just like a lot of spice, like, cooking with things that are not necessarily like the norm of like what is mainstream or in Israeli culture.
Tell us,
Like
tell us.
my aunt used to make these like fish cakes that were really, really delicious. I remember eating those growing
But
up.
what was in it? We got to have this.
Oh, I don't know
family
the recipe.
secrets.
I don't have the secrets. I don't have the secrets.
You gotta
but
come back. I
but
want
I
the
can.
secrets.
Yeah, we'll ask my aunt. But my mom always used to make this like Indian like potatoes, like spiced potatoes and like peas and like now I've gotten more into Indian cooking and I've been making like a lot of lentils and like dal and so it's been a really cool experience like kind of discovering that and getting connected to like my Indian roots through food. Because I've actually never been to India, so that's like a bucket list item for me.
When are you going?
I don't know. I feel like I need to go with my dad.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, so
He's got to show you around
yeah.
the community. Do you have any family that's still there?
No. So most of the family made Aliyah to Israel in like 50s, 60s, 70s. And so yeah, everyone's in Israel now.
You totally surprised us at the end. Like, it wasn't the spicy food. It was like the Indian spice.
Yeah.
That was like, oh, you have that flavor. It's not just Israeli, Sephardi, Mizrahi, whatever you want to pull in.
Yeah.
But Indian.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we are such a multicultural people.
Yes.
It's so fascinating.
Yeah. So my dad's side of the family is Indian and my mom's side of the family is Turkish and Syrian. So it's like a cool, fun, like all the different Sfardis.
Yeah. Do they run around going, ah?
Yeah. There's a lot of that during happy things, always during happy things.
It's my favorite.
Yeah. A lot of good energy, a lot of good food. But yeah, so I like to cook. I love my brother's dog, the family dog. His name is Apollo. He's really amazing. And I didn't used to be a dog person until I met Apollo. So that was like
open to being a dog person.
I'm open to being a dog person.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we got your vibe.
Yeah.
Digital nomad, traveling all over, maybe on hot air balloons. Indian family.
Yeah.
Totally flexible. Probably want to live in Israel at some point.
Yes.
get to know somebody for a year, but man, can you plan a fast wedding? And what we're going to do is plan to have you back when you meet your person
Yeah,
and
Bezat
you're
Hashem.
engaged, and then interview both of you.
Yeah, Bezat Hashem. I think I'm being, a lot more intentional now about how I date. And like really looking forward to like building that with the right person.
Amen.
Yeah.
Please God, you should meet him.
Thank you.
It should go well. This whole year, this move and transition should go well for you. You should have clarity in everything you're doing.
Thank you.
And it should lead you to the right places, doing the right things.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. Thank you for listening. Be sure to check the show notes and visit elizabenshaloom.com for coaching, matchmaking, and everything else that we offer. And join the Jewish matchmaking movement. If you've learned something, please share this episode with one of your friends.